Ittadhyayana Shilasya Pranayama Parashacha Naiva Shanti Papani Purvajanma Kritani Cha. If one reads Bhagavad Gita very seriously and with all seriousness, then by the grace of the Lord, the reactions to his past misdeeds will not act upon him. Savadamam pratyajamamekam saranam brajaham tvam svapapebhyo mokshayishami masuchaha. Abandon all varieties of dharma and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Maline mochanam bhumsam jalastanam dine dine sakrit gitam riktastanam samsaramala nashanam. One may cleanse himself daily by taking a bath, but if one bathes in the sacred sound vibration of the Bhagavad Gita, for him the dirt of material life is completely vanquished. Gita sugita katvabhya kyamanya shastra vishtarahi yashvayam padmanabhasya mukapadma binishrita. Because Bhagavad Gita is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one need not read any other Vedic literature. One need only attentively and regularly hear and read Bhagavad Gita. In the present age, people are so absorbed in mundane activities that it is not possible for them to read all the Vedic literature. But this is not necessary. This one book, Bhagavad Gita, will suffice because it is the essence of all Vedic knowledge, and especially because it is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavan Sri Krishna himself. So I thought we would hear a little bit from the second chapter. Beginning with text number 11. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Asokyam Avasochastvam Pranavadam Chabasate Gatashan Agatasham Cha Nanusochanti Pandita. The Supreme Lord said while speaking learned words, "You are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. Those who are wise lament neither for the living nor for the dead. Natva evaham chatunasam natvam neme janadipa nachaiva na bharishyama swabhavayam ataparam." Never was there a time that I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. Dehenosmin yata dehe kamaram yauvanam jara yata dehantara praptir irasitra namuyati. As the embodied soul continually passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change. Matras pasas tukunteya sitoshna sukadukada agama paino nityas tam titikshas Swabarita. O son of Kunti, the non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress, and their disappearance in due course, are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. They arise from sense perception, O scion of bark, and one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. Yam hina viyata yantiete purusham purushashava sama dukkha sukham viram somrita tvaya kalpate. O best among men, Arjuna, the person who is not disturbed by happiness and distress and is steady in both is certainly eligible for liberation. Nasito vijate babo, nababo vijate sata, ubayua pitrisontas. Twanayo tatadashivi. Those who are seers of the truth have concluded that of the non-existence, the material body, there is no endurance, and of the eternal, the soul, there is no change. This they have concluded by studying the nature of both. Avinasi tutavidi yena sarvam idam tatam vinasam abhyayashasya nakaschit kartamohati. That which pervades the entire body, you should understand to be indestructible. No one is able to destroy the imperishable soul. Antavanta ime deha nitya shokta saririnaha anasino prameyasya tasmat yujasva bharata. The material body of the indestructible, immeasurable, and eternal living entity is sure to come to an end. Therefore do your duty, O descendant of Bharata. Yaenam veti huntaram yaschanam manyate haram aminhatam ubau tau na vijanito nayam hanti nahanyate. Neither he who thinks the living entity the slayer, nor he who thinks it slain is in knowledge. For the self slays not, nor is slain. Najayate mliyate va kadachin nayam bhutva bhavita va nabuyaha ajo nitya shashvatoyam parano nahanyate hanyamane sarire. For the soul there is neither birth nor death at any time. He does not come into being, does not come into being, and will not come into being. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing, and primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain. Veda vinasinam nityam yaenam ajamabhyayam kattam sa purusha pata kamgatta yati hantikam. O Partha, how can a person who knows that the soul is indestructible, eternal, unborn, immutable, kill anyone or cause anyone to be killed? Vashamsi jinani yata vihaya nabani granati naro parani tata sarirani vihaya jinani anyani samyati nabani dehi. As a person puts on new garments, giving up old ones, the soul similarly accepts new material bodies, giving up the old and useless ones. Nainam chindanti sastrani nainam dahati pravakaha nachainam gladiantyat yapo nasoshayati marutaha. The soul can never be cut to pieces by any weapon, nor burned by fire, nor moistened by water, nor withered by the wind. Yachejo yam adayo yam aklejo sosya evacha nitya sarvagata stanur achalo yam sanatanaha. This individual soul is unbreakable and insoluble, and can be neither burned nor dried. He is everlasting, present everywhere, unchangeable, immovable, and eternally the same. Abhyakto yam achincho yam abhikaryo yam uchite tasmare vam viditvainam nanusochitam ahasi. It is said that the soul is invisible, inconceivable, and immutable. Knowing this, you should not grieve for the body. Attachainam nityajatam nityamba manyase mritam tatapi tvam mahabaho nainam sochiti ahasi. If, however, you think that the soul or the symptoms of life is always born and dies forever, you still have no reason to lament, O mighty Om. Chatasya hi dhruvo mrityur dhruvam janma mritasya cha tasmara parihari haryerte natvam sochitam ahasi. One who has taken birth is sure to die, and after death one is sure to take birth again. Therefore, in the unavoidable discharge of your duties, you should not lament. Abhyaktadini bhutani abhyaktam majani bharata abhyakta nidanani eva tatraka paridevana. All created beings are manifest in their beginning, manifest in their interim state, and unmanifest again when annihilated. So what need is there for lamentation? Ascharyavat pashyati kaschit enam ascharyavat dadati tatai vachanya ascharyavat shainam anyashin shinoti srutvapi enam vedana chaiva kaschit. Some look on the soul is amazing, some describe him is amazing, and some hear of him is amazing, while others, even after hearing about him, cannot understand him at all. Dehi nityam avajo yam dehe sarvasya bharata tasmat sarvani bhutani natvam sochitam ahasi. O descendant of Bharata, he who dwells in the body can never be slain. Therefore, you need not grieve for any living being. Swadhamamapi chaveksha navikam vitamahasi dom yadi udach trejonya kshatriyasya navidyate. Considering your specific duty, Arjuna is a Kshatriya, You should know that there is no better engagement for you than fighting in this terrible war on religious principles. And so there is no need for hesitation. O Partha, happy are the Kshatriyas to whom such fighting opportunities come unsought, opening for them the doors of the heavenly planets. If, however, you do not perform your religious duty, then you will certainly incur sins for neglecting your duties and thus lose your reputation. People will always speak of your infamy, and for a respectable person, dishonor is worse than death. The great generals who have highly esteemed your name and fame will think that you have left the battlefield out of fear only, and thus will consider you insignificant. Your enemies will describe you in many unkind words and scorn your ability. What could be more painful for you? O son of Kunti, either you will be killed on the battlefield and attain the heavenly planets, or you will conquer and enjoy the earthly kingdom. Therefore, get up and fight with determination. Do not fight for the sake of fighting, without considering, do thou fight for the sake of fighting, without considering happiness or distress, loss or grief, victory or defeat, and by so doing you shall never incur sin. Thus far I have described this knowledge to you through analytical study. Now listen as I explain it in terms of working without fruit of results. O son of Pritha, when you act in such knowledge, you can free yourself from the bondage of works. Om Abhinati Milanda Shyaviranjana Shilataya Akshun Nilekam Nena Talmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I offer my obeisances to my spiritual master who has opened my eyes to the torch of knowledge, although they are certainly shut by the darkness of ignorance. I apologize if anything seems harsh in Krishna's words. Arjuna was in a terrible situation. He had to speak very factually. Krishna accepted him like that. Arjuna accepted Krishna like that, not just as a friend, but as a guru. And guru means heavy, so Krishna had to speak facts of life that are hard, especially when we face terrible situations. And so therefore he described the eternal existence of the soul. So there's, in the Padma Purana, there's a glory of each chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. So in the second chapter, Lord Vishnu says, my dear Lakshmi, you have heard from me the glories of the first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Now please listen as I tell you the glory of the second. Once, in the south, in the town of Pandapur, a learned Brahmana by the name of Deva Sharma lived. He was able to perform all kinds of fire sacrifices. He also knew the importance of receiving gifts, and by his activities, he managed to satisfy all the devas. But he was not happy and peaceful in his heart and mind. He had a desire to attain knowledge of the soul's relationship with the super soul, Paramatma. Toward this end, he would invite many yogis and tapasis, render all kinds of service to them, and inquire from them about the absolute truth. In this way, he passed many years of his life. One day, while he was walking, he saw a yogi sitting cross-legged with his eyes fixed on the tip of his nose, totally absorbed in meditation. Devasoma could perceive that this yogi was completely peaceful and without any material desires. Devasoma, with the greatest respect and reverence, fell at the feet of the yogi and inquired from him how he could attain complete peace of mind. At that time, the yogi, who had complete knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, advised Devasoma to go to the village of Shopur and meet Mitravan, a goat keeper, and take instructions in the science of God realization from him. After hearing this, Devasoma again and again offered his respectful obeisances at the feet of the yogi and then left for Snowpur. When he arrived there, he found on the northern side a beautiful forest where Mitravan lived. When he entered the forest, he saw Mitravan sitting on top of some rocks on the bank of a small river. Mitravan looked very beautiful and totally peaceful. In the forest, the wind was blowing very gently, and a beautiful aroma was emanating from every direction. The goats were peacefully moving here and there, totally unafraid. Some were seen to be sitting next to tigers and ever ferocious animals. When Devasoma saw this scene, his mind became peaceful, and he respectfully approached Mitravan and sat close to him. Mitravan appeared to be fully absorbed in his meditation. After some time, Devasoma inquired from him how he would be able to attain devotion to Lord Krishna. When Mitravan heard this question, for a moment he was lost in deep thought. Then he replied, "My dear learned Devasoma, once, long ago, I was in the forest looking after the goats when a very ferocious tiger attacked. All the goats ran here and there to save themselves. I also ran off to the fear of the tiger. From some distance, I looked back and saw that the tiger on the bank of this river had caught one of my goats. At that time, a strange and wonderful thing happened. The tiger lost all his anger and desired to eat my goat. Thereupon, my goat asked the tiger, 'You have attained your food, so why are you not eating the meat of my body? You should immediately kill me and with great relish eat up my flesh. Why are you hesitating?' The tiger said, 'My dear goat, since I have come to this place, all anger has left me, and I have no hunger or thirst.' The goat said, 'I also do not know why I am feeling so fearless and peaceful. What can be the reason for this? If you know, then kindly inform me.' The tiger replied, 'I also do not know. Let us inquire from that person.' When I saw this exchange between the tiger and goat, I became very much astonished. At that time they approached me and inquired as to the reason. I noticed a monkey sitting on the branch of a nearby tree, and I went with the two of them and inquired from the monkey. With great respect, the monkey said, 'Listen, I will tell you a very old story. In this forest, just in front of you, there's a very large temple in which Lord Brahma installed a Shiva Linga long ago. A learned sage by the name Sukama had performed many austerities, lived there. Daily he would bring flowers from the forest and water from the river and worship Lord Shiva. In this way he was living here for many years when one day a sage arrived. At that time Sukama brought fruits and water and fed the sage. After the sage had eaten and rested, Sukama said that he was living here, performing austerities and worship, only to obtain knowledge of Lord Krishna. But the results of his austerity had been attained today by coming in contact with him, the sage. When the sage heard the words of Sukama, which were full of submission, he became greatly pleased, and he wrote the second chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita on a stone. He instructed Sukama to daily read those verses and told him by so doing he would quickly attain his goal. After having spoken thus, the sage disappeared from that place while Sukama was looking on. After that, following the instructions of the sage, Sukama recited those verses daily for the rest of his life. Quickly he attained complete knowledge of Lord Krishna, and from the day he started reciting those verses, he felt no more thirst or hunger. And due to his austerities and devotion performed at this place, anyone who visits here does not feel the pains of hunger and thirst, and immediately attains peace. Mitravan said, "My dear Deva Sharma, after the monkey had finished telling us that wonderful story, I, along with the tiger and goat, went to that temple. There we found the second chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita written on a stone, and we started to recite those verses daily. In this way, we were soon able to attain devotion to Lord Krishna. My dear Brahmana, if you start reciting the verses of the second chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, you will quickly attain the mercy of Lord Krishna." Lord Vishnu said, "My dear Lakshmi, in this way Deva Sharma attained knowledge from Mitravendra. And after worshipping that great soul, he returned to Pandharpur and daily recited the second chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. He would also recite it to anyone who visited Pandharpur. In this way, Deva Sharma attained the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. My dear Lakshmi, these are the glories of the second chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita." Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. In the same way, in this age of Kali, the Mahamantra functions in the same capacity as we just heard about. The glory of the Mahamantra is that it can deliver anyone from the pains of material existence, which plague the world, without a doubt. Everyone suffers from birth, death, old age, and disease, and so many other things we know of. So, however, if we simply chant this mantra, then it enlightens the self, the person inside the body. And then that body becomes like an automobile. It becomes a vehicle for driving through this life to our fantastic, wonderful future. For the devotee of Krishna's name is none different than Krishna's pure devotee. So by a little devotion to Krishna's name, one's future becomes completely uplifting, becomes completely bright. And that is the purpose of human life. Otherwise, too much attachment to the joys and pleasures of this world simply bond us again to the same type of life, where anything at any moment can happen and causes distress. And it happens to everyone. But by becoming just a little devoted to Krishna's name, then one's future becomes very bright. We learn to drive around in this body, do our duty while here, accept everything as Krishna's mercy, see everyone as Krishna's eternal parts and parcels, and automatically become prepared for our change of body. And in the future, just like Narada, one moment Narada was an old, shriveled up sage who spent his life from the time he was a boy. His mother suffered from snake bite and left this world, following in the footsteps of some sages who had spent the rainy season at his mother's inn. He traveled the world remembering and chanting the glories of Krishna. So as an old, shriveled up man, he simply leaning against a building. Nowadays they would say homeless. Like it is described in the Srimad Bhagavatam, like lightning. One moment he was there, and the next moment he was gone. And he appeared as Narada Muni, the celestial son of Brahma, who travels the world from the lower planets to the higher planets, even into Vaikuntha, engaging in the pastimes of the Lord. So that is a real future. Otherwise, in this world we see we're always buying all kinds of insurance. Because nothing's permanent. What is permanent is Krishna. If we take shelter of Krishna, then everything will become bright very soon. We simply have to cultivate that faith. It is not difficult. It just requires some serious practice. But that practice isn't hard. It's made easy. The Lord makes it easy. We simply have to chant as often as possible, as much as possible, but any time. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Even Rama had to accept the plights of this world. Even Krishna left this world in a way that people don't understand. It's inevitable. But it's not reality. It's not permanent. It's just the temporary illusion, like the dreams that we have. What's real is the self, and the self is beyond this world. When all is dissolved, the spiritual world is there. And when that is what Prabhupada means when he says back home, back to Godhead. That is our real home, not this world. This world is not our real home. Otherwise, no one would ever be satisfied. No one would ever be happy, because everything is lost. But in reality, nothing is lost when we're in touch with our spiritual self. And we can see that destination. That destination is there for everyone. Krishna is making it available for everyone. No one has to be a sage or even a great devotee. We simply have to be a humble devotee. And then everything becomes possible. You know, we perceive the reality of spiritual life. It's real. It exists. Vaikuntha is there. Krishna Loka is there, and Krishna is just waiting for us. So we do our duty in this world. I mean, after all, even Bhishma had to do his duty. Everyone does their duty. Krishna doesn't want to upset the world. We do our duty, and we go back home to Godhead and enjoy life forever, without any of the faults that we find in this world. Okay. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram. We also take Krishna's prasad. Krishna is so kind, he gives us his prasad, and even that prasad, the same result is achieved. So, I don't know where Maharani is. I'm not sure if we'll take outside or inside. It might not be raining now, and possibly may be warm enough, but everything may be wet under that pavilion. So that means we'll have to take inside here. And maybe, Paul, you can find out?
Yeah, I'll find out.
Go check, find out.
Inside,
What we'll do is, if it's inside, we'll bring in some tables, and we'll put the prasad on it. And then we'll just do it buffet style. Just everybody come and get prasad. You can just find a place to sit. We'll close the curtains because we don't eat before Krishna. We'll close the curtains. Everybody can just sit. And we'll try to make ourselves comfortable here. And enjoy Krishna's prasad.